Crisis along the southern border intensifies, and a federal lawsuit against Colony Ridge claims they target and use predatory loans against Hispanic families. And in Victoria College prepares its students for the upcoming semester.
We are looking at the big picture because first we get the clouds and the rain, and out on the west coast that storm is coming to visit you. What will it do for your Christmas break? Well, it's going to be a little on the damp side. We'll talk more about it coming up in just a few minutes.
And it is commitment season. Stick around, I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Karina Garcia. Don Brubaker has the night off. Authorities issued an Amber Alert this afternoon in Princeton for 3 children. One is a 16-year-old black girl, a 5-year-old black boy, and an 8-year-old black girl. The suspect is 37-year-old Nazaya Ali. They were last seen in a black 2017 Mercedes 300 with the Texas license number NBV 5334. If you have any information, call 911. The border crisis is intensifying as surges of migrants keep arriving to the southern border. This following pushback to Governor Greg Abbott's new law that will allow police to arrest people they suspect entered the U.S. illegally.
Historic apprehensions at the border. ABC News sources say Border Patrol apprehended more than 10,000 migrants yesterday, following a record 11,000 on Monday. This as hundreds of migrants are seen huddling in Eagle Pass, some wrapped in blankets as they await processing.
We're going the absolute wrong direction.
This on the heels of the new law signed by Texas Governor Greg Abbott, known as SB 4, which allows for local and state law enforcement officials in Texas to arrest migrants suspected of crossing into the state illegally from Mexico. It also allows judges to order some migrants to return to Mexico. The White House blasting the law.
This is not who we are as a country. This is not who we should be as a country.
El Paso County joining the ACLU's lawsuit, saying it would overburden jails and pose a threat to mixed status families. Advocates say it encourages racial profiling, can lead to family separations, and can deny migrants the chance to request asylum. Lawmakers at the southern border calling for a solution.
We need to surge immigration judges to the border. This is America. People need to get their cases heard in days, not years. And if they do not qualify for asylum, they need to be deported.
Meantime, freight railroad operators are sounding the alarm after CBP shuttered rail operations at El Paso and Eagle Pass in light of the border crisis. Union Pacific Railroad says the closure will have a $200 million daily economic impact.
CBP closing down a number of border entry points across the Southwest in an effort to slow crossings and reallocate resources to processing migrants. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Now, the Department of Homeland Security headed visit to the D.C. for border security talks. Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas arrived on Capitol Hill this morning. Border security is a major sticking point for many Republicans who are holding up aid for Ukraine in an effort to get a deal to increase border security. Senate leaders say progress is being made on a deal. And now let's take a look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez, who's telling us it's going to be a very warm Christmas.
Not only warm, but fairly wet as well. I mean, the rain began today. You can see the activity that came through the afternoon. Some of our counties to the south actually got some substantial rainfall, but the main event is out here and then out here. All that weather is moving into our area to make it a little soggy for Christmas weekend, and we'll talk more about it coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go away. Karina, back to you.
Mac, thank you. The DOJ is suing the Colony Ridge development just 30 minutes outside of Houston for operating an illegal scheme that targets Hispanic residents with predatory loans. The federal lawsuit says Colony Ridge sells unsuspecting families plots of land that are prone to floods and are without water, sewer, or electrical infrastructure. The lawsuit claims they do this by exploiting language barriers by conducting most of its marketing in Spanish while offering important transaction documents only in English. They also say Colony Ridge sets up borrowers with, or rather, they set them up to fail with loans they simply cannot afford.
And unlike responsible lenders who conduct a careful determination about whether an applicant can repay a loan, Colony Ridge does not verify income or any ability to pay. knowing that it stands to benefit if the borrower defaults on the loan.
The lawsuit also says roughly 1 in 4 Colony Ridge loans end in foreclosure, and the company then repurchases the properties to sell to new borrowers. The goal of this lawsuit is to provide some sort of compensation. Here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. The Port Lavaca City Council updated the regulations of the landing marina in their December 11th meeting. And high school students from Calhoun, Palacios, and Edna competed in a welding competition to see which school had the best welders. Plus, the Port Lavaca Girl Scout troop donated to the city's food pantry to give back to the community. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com. Now, with the new year right around the corner, some of you may be considering going back to school. 25 News Now Sunrise anchor Carolina Astrain spoke with the Victoria College Director of Advising, Counseling, and Support Services to learn more about their upcoming Super Saturday.
I'm now joined by Bobby Gubriel. He's the Director of Counseling, Advising, and Support Services at Victoria College.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome, and we want to learn more about this Super Saturday coming up. Victoria College has that set for January 6th.
That's right, yeah. Victoria College is excited to host our January 6th Super Saturday event. We do this every semester because we know our students not always can come between the hours of 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So we try to have an event every semester for Saturdays so that way their non-traditional students can come and visit with us and be able to get registered. We have our entire building open from admissions, financial aid, all the way to registration. If the students need to get tested for our admissions testing, we can also do that too. We start that a little bit earlier though, at 8:30 in our testing center. But then after that, they can come over to the Welcome Center and get registered for classes.
What else do they need to have with them? Let's say maybe you haven't been going to school for a couple of years. What are the basic things that you need?
Really, they don't need to bring anything with them. We'll have everything ready. The applications are all online. If they have ID, if they have their Social Security card with them, they might need that. But we don't need to have that with us on the first day.
Okay. So your ID and then maybe your social, but y'all can take care of the rest from there. And
that's correct. Yeah,
kind of find out if there's financial aid opportunities.
That's right. That's part of the day as well. So we'll have them sit down with the financial aid counselor, be able to do the FAFSA application, see if we can't get them some financial aid assistance to be able to pay for their school.
That's such a big help. There's so many families that struggle to fill out that FAFSA.
It is. It's one of the toughest things for our students that they say, but we want to make sure that that's as easy as possible. So we'll have our counselors available for them. Beyond that, too, we'll also have scholarship opportunities for them. So we want to make sure that we're looking for all the different ways that we can help pay for their ventures.
And it's such a great time. It's at the beginning of a new year. Perhaps our viewers have some educational resolutions in mind, because it doesn't hurt to have an associate's.
That's right. No, we have several different pathways. Not only associates, we have one-year certificates. We even have short-term training that we want to showcase at this event. So we want to make sure that every student, whether they have those aspirations now or later, that they have the opportunity to come off Monday through Friday on those Saturdays whenever they maybe have a day off or so.
And it's like never too late.
That's right. It's never too late. We hope to be here. We hope to be able to support them on those days anytime.
Well, let's go ahead and remind our viewers about the event and what time it starts. It starts at 10 a.m., but you may want to get there early if you're thinking about getting registered for the first time that morning. And it goes until 2 p.m.
That's correct.
And it's all going to take place at the Student Services Building on the VC campus there on Red River Street.
That's correct. Thank you.
Well, I'm excited to hear what your enrollment numbers turn out to be this spring semester, and it's such a great thing that y'all are doing for the community with these Super Saturdays.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we are too. We're very excited to see our spring semester get started. We're excited about the numbers, the new classes that we have. So yeah, thank you for having us.
My pleasure. All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
HEB's Feast of Sharing was this evening at the Victoria Community Center. This event is an opportunity for community members to come together for a free hot meal put on by HEB. Everyone was welcome to join, and they even had a live band, activities for the whole family, and Santa Claus made an appearance. Thomas and Margarita Molina said they take this time to appreciate the little things like fellowship and a tasty meal.
Well, it's good to bring the community together and to show everybody the joy and the happiness. It's a good thing with this. And thankful, yes. Right. Just sharing the joy and the food, what the good Lord has provided for us. So we take everything into consideration. Don't take it for granted, because this is a lovely thing.
The Victoria Fire Department and Police Department volunteered along with veterans, community members, and local Boy and Girl Scout troops. This was the 33rd year this has taken place, with their numbers growing each year, with about 5,000 plates served, all free of charge to the community. Bringing us to your viewer poll tonight, you can scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. The question is, did you go to the HEB Feast of Sharing event today, yes or no? According to our results, it looks like 12% stand at yes and 87% stand at no. Thank you for voting. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10. Nearly 30 people in the hospital after multiple chemical leaks at a factory in Tennessee. Also ahead, doctors and lawmakers are sounding the alarm over drug shortages in the United States. Were sent to hospitals in East Tennessee following multiple chemical leaks at a cheese factory. It happened in Greenville this morning. 6 people were initially hospitalized following the first leak. An additional 23 people were hospitalized following a second leak. More than 50 other employees are being monitored. Authorities say the leaks have been secured and there is no danger to the public, but there is no word on the conditions of the people taken to the hospital. Now over in Kentucky, 3 people are hurt after a leak at a power plant. The incident happened this morning. Authorities initially thought it was a tower collapse, but smoke was coming from a large leak. 3 people were hurt, including one person who was buried under the ash. All 3 had been taken to the hospital. Now, while the leak is contained, the cause remains under investigation. Doctors around the country are warning about a shortage of several important drugs, including drugs that help treat cancer.
This morning, more doctors and lawmakers are sounding the alarm about drug shortages in the U.S., among them life-saving cancer medications, including chemo drugs.
These shortages can be life or death for kids, especially when it comes to the cancer drugs.
The FDA's drug shortage lists include those that treat lymphoma and leukemia.
We know how to treat cancer, but shortages force impossible choices. We have drugs that are life-saving and shortages that are life-threatening.
Testifying at a Senate hearing, experts blame the shortages in part on the low cost of generic drugs, with insurance companies often only paying for those cheaper generic versions.
A vial of sterile injectable medicine typically costs less than this cup of coffee that I bought downstairs this morning. So this reduces the incentive of manufacturers to invest in quality or in newer manufacturing facilities.
It's not just cancer drugs. Kimberly Yard's daughter has taken the stimulant Vyvanse for her ADHD for years, but her insurance company wants her to switch to Adderall, another drug in short supply.
Adderall's the one that started this whole shortage. So you want me to potentially not have consistent medication for my daughter? Instead, really? Why?
The government and drug makers blame each other for the shortage of ADHD medications. The DEA set limits on the ingredients needed to produce them because they're controlled substances. Drug makers say those limits are too strict.
The American Medical Association is now urging the U.S. government to consider manufacturing some of the drugs itself to alleviate some of the shortages. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Toyota is recalling about 1 million vehicles over a potential problem with the passenger airbag. The recall covers 15 Toyota and Lexus models, including the Camry, Sienna, RAV4, as well as Lexus RX 350 and ES 350. The model years are between 2020 to 2022. Toyota says the occupant classification system sensor in the recalled vehicles could short circuit. The sensor helps identify whether the person sitting in the front passenger seat is an adult or a child based on the weight. Toyota says as a result of the possible glitch, the airbag may not deploy in certain kinds of crashes when it should. Burns are a leading cause of accidental injury to children, specifically those under the age of 5. One child had been hospitalized after an accident with an iron earlier this year. She stayed in a burn clinic in Plano for 7 months after suffering from 2nd and 3rd degree burns on her face and arm. In the burn unit, her mother said she had to undergo and experience a painful process to clean the wound. Then she was given a doll. Her family began collecting dolls after this accident, and this month they donated nearly 70 dolls to the pediatric burn patients. Here's a look at some of the top headlines you'll find in the Cuero Record. Cuero Health donates to Cuero ISD students, and Cowboy Claus delivers gifts to over 28 children in Yorktown. Read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com.
All right, Cowboy Claus, he's ready to go, and he's got his hat on. Well, hope it's the old hat, so if it gets wet, it's not bad. 63 degrees right about now, folks. We did get up to 76 this afternoon. You're thinking, are we the warmest spot in the nation? No, it was Harlingen, Texas that got up to 81 today. Not exactly December-like weather, but we'll be talking about what it's going to do over the next 7 days and the rain that's coming in our way. All that in just a moment. Well, good evening, everybody. The clouds and the humidity and the rain has already begun. Today we had some light rain showers around the area. You see right about there's Victoria. The heaviest stuff is actually down in Calhoun County. And this is only going to get, shall we say, a little worse because the rain is going to be more widespread over the next couple of days. This is what's happening right about now. Not only do we have the Gulf clouds, you notice how the lower clouds are sort of rolling this way, but the high-level clouds are rolling this way, so that means that the atmosphere is completely moist, and all we need now is some triggering mechanism to get the rain going. Well, here's system number one. You can see how it's being fed into this tropical tap of moisture coming in, enhancing the rain in West Texas. But the main event is still out here. That's the big low that's going to be rolling across our area. Now, here's a real good example. Here's Victoria, here's Bloomington, Green Lake. You can see how the showers were up to about a ½ an inch in Calhoun County today. Another little streamer came through Port Lavaca. Then the heavier stuff was actually out in LaWard, Blessing, and Bay City, where they got a lot more shower activity than we did today. In fact, right here in this dark green, that's over a ½ an inch. So yeah, we started today and it's just going to be damp for the next couple of days. Here's, of course, where we are. The rain in the southwest now rolling into Texas. You can see how in El Paso it's getting a little bit heavier right about there. So these are getting stronger and they're going to be rolling across Texas. If you're traveling across the state in the next couple of days, you're going to run into moisture, but you're not going to run into any ice and snow, and that's the good part. Now, this is a real mess out here. I don't know if you're flying to San Francisco or LA. You've got a lot of rain to deal with, and by tomorrow, this is going to be in flood situations where this is going to be a major factor for the West Coast. And guess what? It's traveling from the West Coast to the Southwest and then to us. So any kind of traveling in the next 4 or 5 days, you're going to run into it. So our high pressure has moved away. That's why we got the showers today. As that pulls away, as we get to Thursday, you can see the first band of showers coming into this area. So in the crossroads, we're looking for that rain. And then as we go to Friday, you can see how we may have a little break between these two Friday evening. But by Saturday, then that big thing rolls in again. So it looks like a damp kind of a couple of days going all the way to Christmas Eve. And then the good news is that by Monday, this frontal system should pull past our area. And by Monday, we should start to clear up. We'll get a little bit of sunshine on Monday. Overnight lows getting down to about 62, 60 degrees on the cool side, but not particularly cold. And then tomorrow, again, into the 70s. Whether or not Harlingen will get up to 81, I don't know. But here is what we expect in Port Lavaca. 65 the low, up to about 70 the high. We're looking at Cuero, 62 the low, 71 the high. That's where we are with cloud cover pretty much all day long. So tomorrow is a light and gentle day. We're calling it 20%. Then it gets a little heavier on Friday with that first band, Saturday, and then Sunday. By Sunday night, the front comes through, and then with a little luck, we'll have clearing weather just in time for Christmas Day, and slightly cooler as well.
Load that app right there, and one local star has scored 1,000 career points. She's just a junior, and it's time to commit. I will have that in sports. Well, we have some big-time decisions made today. Some local athletes have made their decision as to where they are going to school. Yoakum Zachary Taylor committed to Army a while ago, but today made it official. He signed his name on the line and will be headed to West Point to play quarterback. He was only at Yoakum for a year. He expressed his gratitude to the program and his teammates who helped him become a better player. As for why he chose Army, well, he just believes it gives him his best shot at success in life.
The overall plan for after school, you have a guaranteed job as soon as you graduate. All the guys there, they make you feel at home. They have a bond together. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Just, not every day, some people don't get that same opportunity that I do, especially not at Army.
He's also excited to be a part of the Army versus Navy game. Over in El Campo at the field house on campus, Oliver Miles, who was surrounded by friends, family, teammates, and coaches, officially committed to Texas Tech University. Miles is a three-star athlete that will play defensive back once he gets to Lubbock. For the Ricebirds, he was a do-it all-star before injury took over. Now the newest member of the Red Raiders still has some unfinished business. He wants that triple jump record. Congrats to Oliver Miles on that commitment. In El Maton, another star who we already knew where they were going, just not official yet, Joseph Dodds from Tidehaven. He's also a three-star athlete and just rushed for 2,000 yards this season while helping lead the Roll Tide to its first title game since 1980. He loves Baylor and feels at home there as well. Catch the star that head coach David Lucio likened to a young Adrian Peterson in Waco. In Edna, a bright young star just reached one milestone that many never reach, and she just started her junior year. Jashanti Guerra has scored over 1,000 points for the Edna Cowgirls, and her junior season still has a long way to go. That is a very talented team over there. They are currently undefeated in district play and 15-4 on the year. Congrats to her on that milestone, and hopefully many more to come in her playing days. Other news out on the hardwood, the St. Joseph Flyers took down the Shiner Comanches in Shiner today. Final score in this one, 81-56. Jack Ward, 33 points in the game. Nick Bluta had 13 and Ryan Carson with 10. For the St. Joe girls, they had a doubleheader in tournament play today. The first game on the day against the Rockport Fulton Pirates. The Lady Flyers won 55-42. Jordy Ibarra and Maddie Stefka led the way in this one with 12 points in the game. AC Miori with 2 3-pointers in this one, the most for the Flyers. And they actually go 2-0 on the day, beating Banquetti 49-41. In this game, Bella Micas led the way with 19 points, which was the highest total scored on the day for the Flyers. Jordy Ibarra once again in double digits with 11 in that game. They are now 11-5 on the year. And for the first time ever, UTSA won a bowl game defeating the Marshall Herd 35-17. But it didn't always look promising. They found themselves in an early 14-point hole, but took the lead in the third quarter and never looked back. Jeff Traylor, who interviewed for a few big-time positions in college football, doused with coffee, the sponsor of the Frisco Bowl. Another commitment we hope to have more on tomorrow. Refugio's Ernest Campbell officially put his name to paper for the Aggies, and C.J. Stroud still in concussion protocol. That's a lot, and I think that's it. Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Zach. Now stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we're going to take a last look at your weather with Mac. Plus, a hotel implosion in Tampa startled some neighbors early this morning. A loud boom woke some people in Tampa overnight, but it was all planned. It was all planned. The Florida Department of Transportation demolished the former DoubleTree Hotel in Tampa around 1:30 a.m. today. Authorities had already warned nearby residents about the implosion. The former hotel was demolished so FDOT could use the property as a staging area for a highway construction project. Now get ready to go dashing through the snow to bring joy to the world. Today is Go Caroling Day. It's a time to walk door to door singing Christmas songs in groups. The day is near the winter solstice since pagans started caroling to celebrate that day. Now Christians sing holiday music to celebrate the birth of Jesus at Christmas. People of other faiths can join on the fun with secular carols like Frosty the Snowman. Well, we already know what our favorite Christmas songs are.
Yeah, we heard you sing it on the commercial.
Your singing though was
Santa baby.
Oh, there it goes.
Put a sable under the tree.
Zach, thank goodness you're in sports.
I didn't know that pagans had choirs, you know.
I don't know what that is.
Interesting. Way back
choir
then.
or pagan?
Okay.
2,000 years ago.
Okay.
Hey folks, all right, if you're going caroling tomorrow, that's a great idea. You won't need much of a coat because it's going to be warm. We're looking at low 70s right on through Christmas Eve, and the rain that began today is just going to be increasing over the next couple of days as we start combining with all that stuff coming at us from the West Coast. By Christmas Day, however, the front will pass and we will clear up and we'll get a little sunshine so Zach can play with his new toys outside.
That's right. Thank you, Mac. And tomorrow is French Fried Shrimp Day. Seafood lovers around the nation observe National French Fried Shrimp Day every year on December 21st. According to nationalholidaycalendar.com, Americans consume more shrimp than any other seafood. Are you guys fans of seafood? I am.
I love shrimp. Love some shrimp.
Some fried shrimp tomorrow. We should all get some fried shrimp for dinner tomorrow.
I'll watch. I don't know if I'll watch, but I mean, y'all.
Well, who's paying? That's the question.
Thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. Join Carolina Estradain and meteorologist Parker Cox for 25 News Now Sunrise. Have a good night.